Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Facebook Live. Today I'm so glad to have the lovely Fiona Heart from Australia with me. Hi Fiona.
Hi, how are you, Jen?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good. I'm so excited to have you here today. You've also given us some content for the Women's Health and Wellness Club, so thank you for that. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on. But so you're a confidence coach, for anyone that hasn't read any of my, I want to say million posts. I feel like I post about it quite a lot, which is good. You know, confidence is one of those that, you know, is always good. But before we do anything else, do you just want to introduce yourself and maybe let us know what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me, because I'm very passionate about what I do, and any chance I can get to pass on what I know or inspire people to take time to be kind to themselves and do personal development, I jump on that opportunity. So thank you very much. And like you said, I am the confidence coach, and it's something that it's a personal journey to me. I went with the confidence coach for my branding because I come from a place of having very low self-esteem and self-worth and very little confidence, and it was a journey that I took and taught myself strategies to overcome that. And it was ironically one of these things that people says, oh, you've got so much confidence, and I thought, wow, that's something I can do with. So I really focused on that in my coaching. I coach. I don't niche in women, but I tend to be drawn to coaching women, and I really help people who want to create positive change in their lives. So I coach a lot of teenagers that just are in that place of life angst because things are changing for them. They're going from, you know, their parents doing a lot of that responsibility stuff to all of a sudden here be an adult, and it can be quite overwhelming. And I work with them a lot with their study schedules as well, because they fumble their way through and think they're doing really well, but then have this massive anxiety about, oh, I'm not coping so well with my time and everything. So yeah, I do a lot of confidence coaching with the teenager and that young adult. And then also with women across the board. Sometimes it's levels of anxiety, really working on that and getting them to understand strategies that they can use, but just general life overwhelm. You know, we carry a lot of baggage through with us, and it tends to smack us in the face at some stage in life. So my mission is to build people's tool belt so that they have strategies that they can use when life challenges hit them, and really call upon those whenever they need to. And part of that tool belt is building your confidence and just getting to know yourself and knowing your triggers and what you need to do to keep on an even keel. And it's never a dull moment.
No, I can believe that, yes. I guess, you know, every day is completely different as well, which is great. And you get to work with so many people as well, so.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because everyone's story is different, and yet there's such a level of sameness in it, because we all come from the same place where we want to have a life that is meaningful and feels good, but we get so lost and buried in everything that goes on and things that have shaped our lives. So there is a commonality within all my clients, and for me it's, you know, getting everybody to a place where they can feel like they've got strategies and they can put one foot in front of the other, and that they're excited about their future. That's really what I focus on, is getting people excited about who they are and stepping into their potential, essentially.
So you get to see the whole journey as well, which is quite nice, isn't it? So progress over time.
It is. Yeah, and it really doesn't take that long. So sorry, it's interesting because for people to come and work with me, it often takes quite a lot of time to get to me, because there's that fear factor and they lack that confidence that, you know, talking to someone. But I've never ever had just one session where after one session you can't see a change in people, and then after 3 sessions you see massive change. So it's not as big a hurdle. It's like people make it out to be this huge thing that's going to take 3 months to a year, and it's really not that. It's just putting little strategies in place.
Nice. So for our club, for our women's club, you've created some workbooks. the top of my head, I think it's 4 or 5. I can't remember. I think it's
4. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah.
Do you just want to give us a quick overview? Sorry.
Yeah, no problems. No, it happens when you're Facebooking time back and forth, isn't it? Yeah, I have a suite of workbooks and worksheets that I use. I don't use it for all my clients, but I have a range that I go to, and it just depends on what people are going through. So I've tried to select 4 that I thought would be general across the board and actually make sense for people in your club that are starting their journey perhaps, or just want to have a look in what confidence coaching is. So the first one is called Balance of Being, and that really is, you might have heard it as the life wheel. And it's really taking a look at 6 key areas of your life, 6 to 7. I've seen some with 10, but it's looking at key areas of your life. The one that I go with is emotional well-being, physical health, your home life, your work life, your relationships, your social life, and your relationship with where you're at with your wealth journey. And all you do is, it's a simple little circle. You imagine that the center of the circle is 0 and the outside of the circle is 10, and you simply mark a dot in each little triangle of where you feel that you're at the moment with that area. So I've lost you. I'm feeling lost you on my thing. But there you are. Sorry. Cool. So you put a little, so I guess it's like if you've got your circle like that, and then you've got your little triangles. If you're feeling like your social life is about a 3 with where you're happy, you would put it sort of like closer to the 0. And what happens is you do a mark out of 10 for each area, and it's not according to anyone else, it's according to yourself. And then you end up with, some people will end up with a wonky wheel. I don't think you can see it like that, but some people will end up with a small wheel that's probably even, and other people might find that, but there's some real chunks in it. And all it is an exercise to give you information about perhaps why you're feeling off kilter. It works every time. As soon as you do it, you get these aha moments where you go, oh, okay, so it's my home life. There's something about my home life that I'm really not enjoying. And we can't concentrate on all at once. Yeah. So it really is a case of doing your life wheel, and then clients, we look at what can we focus on first to make so it starts building that expansion. Because really a lot of the lack of confidence is people feel like they have no confidence in their life. So doing a balance of being or a life wheel is really a first step that I often use just to get back on track. And it's really effective. So the second one is mental fitness, and it's really just a worksheet that takes you through some awareness and how to create confidence in your life and get back some of that control. So the key points are to quieten your thinking brain, and ways of doing that is just meditation, mindfulness, just really focusing in on something that closes down those thoughts that just seem to drive you crazy. When your life is chaotic, it feels like your brain is on fire. So it's finding ways to quieten your thinking brain. The next one is know what you want and what you don't want. This is a really key question that people really sometimes don't. They say, oh, well, actually, that's a good question. I don't know. They get so busy living and existing and getting tied up that they don't know. So asking yourself that, getting a worksheet piece of paper and just writing that down and informing yourself really helps you to take steps of building your self-confidence, because you're really getting that self-awareness. The next one is embrace that which you can't control. And this is a huge one. People often get caught up with things that they can't control. And really, let's face it, we control very little. We can influence a lot of things, but we control very little. Yeah. For me, really, the only thing you can control is your own thoughts. And that's a big part of confidence coaching as well. But you need to, really come into that understanding that you control very little. And the more you can just get on with it, the freer your life feels, and it's a freeing experience. So the next one after that is focus on what matters. And this seems like an obvious one, but this is a big contributor to the clients I work with that have anxiety. It's they future forecast and they worry, and it's not rocket science. Everyone knows anxiety is related to worry. So when you really focus on what matters now, like if somebody says something, it's actually a skill that you develop where you realize what are people in context to my life. So if people that you work with, they're not really treating you that well, it's not that you ignore it. You go and you have strategies to address it in the situation, but taking things personally all the time is really dangerous to your self-confidence. So it's developing that ability to say, why would I care about what Susie in accounting said that Joe in HR said about me, So that's a big one. And the last one on that sheet is seeing opportunities. And I guess that's something that through my own journey, that's been a gift for me, that I've always seen that. So I've had a lot of life challenges, but always seen it as where is the solution here, and how can I move forward? And again, it's a common thing. It's like a social disease that occurs where, somebody will complain about something and everyone jumps on the bandwagon. I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and it's the same all over, so I'm sure it's the world over. It's this community feeling that to be a part of something, you have to be a part of the negative side of it. But it's just stand up and be counted and be positive and move forward. So focus on the solutions, definitely identify the problem, but put that energy towards solutions, and it's amazing for your confidence how much better you feel. So that is mental fitness. And the next one I've thrown in is self-check. So again, this is about yourself. I do a lot of work with my clients when we're building self-confidence, just about knowing themselves. And that's what a lot of my worksheets are, is just writing down things, getting to know yourself, because we just don't really do that. It's not something we do in schools. We're not taught to do it as adults. And just little things like you'll hear women talk about a guy they dated and they can't believe they dated him, but it's because they don't know themselves yet. And you hear that a lot. So this one's just a score out of 10, just to give you a little bit of a reflection on where you're at. I like to think about as in when you go to the doctor for a checkup, you get your blood test, your blood pressure, you get everything checked, and then you get back all this information, and you get from that information to say, oh, wow, I really need to lay off the nachos, or I need to go for a run. You get information that tells you what you have to do for your physical health. So this is a bit the same. You can do it. I recommend people to do it every 3 months. And again, it's not competing with anyone else. It's whatever 10 means to you, whatever 7 means to you, whatever 0 means to you. So do a score rating, see where you're at, and then you get to look at it and go, wow, okay, this is actually why I feel so flat at the moment, because I'm really not valuing who I am. And then you get to take the next step, which is what am I going to do about it? And the last one is tuning in. So this is a bit of a writing exercise. It can be as long or as short as you like, but have fun with it. It's really about imagine that your life is a radio station and you're listening to DJs talk about you, and it just goes into filling out what's happening in your life at the moment. What if you have a guest coming on the show, who do you think it is and what do you think they would talk about? And it might seem a bit silly, but again, it's just information, because it's actually you writing it, which means it's thoughts in your head, and it's beneficial to get that out. And it's more after the exercise is finished. I recommend this tuning in one, doing it, and then a week later coming back and reading it, because you would have forgotten what you've written, and then you come back and you'll read something and you'll go, oh, wow, I wrote that, my mum was the guest speaker and she said, X, Y, Z, and it might be good, it might be bad, but it's information about how you're feeling about yourself. And that's really what confidence is. It's about how you are feeling about yourself. So I hope that your people enjoy it and fill it out and get value out of it, because to build your self-confidence, you have to know who you are, and that's warts and all. And these kind of exercises are really, really great for finding out what you actually think about yourself. And then you get to take the next step, which is working with someone who can help you reshape, where you should be at and moving forward.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it's especially what you think of yourself. That is going to be probably one of the main issues people probably have. I mean, I know I have it sometimes as well. It's just like, it's all in my head. I know that, But so yeah, those
Yeah.
exercises are really going to be good, as well as with the wheel in the beginning on the first workbook, just to see where you potentially, need a bit more help, etc., etc. Great. So
And
thank
it's
you.
interesting.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's interesting you said that, because what you said then was, you know these things, and that's exactly what I get with all my clients. I'm not telling people things. I mean, I do uncover some things. They're like, oh, I didn't think about that, but a lot of us know what to do, but there's a difference between what you know and what you do, and that's a big one. So if that's the big take-home message to the members for you today, do that. And same, it's like, I know I should do more yoga. Well, if you know that, do it.
Yes.
No one can do it for you. So when you're in that wellness frame of mind and you hear yourself have questions, I used to be a personal trainer, so I worked in that space of wellness before becoming a life coach. And it's while you're having that conversation with yourself about what you should do, just drop and do 5, yoga poses or whatever it is. It's actually, because the time you take to think about things is time you could be actually contributing to your wellness. So get out there and do more yoga.
I was going to say, there you go. Do both at the same time. Perfect.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the overview and all of the info. Just before we finish, I'm just going to see if there are any questions. There are no questions at the moment. So if anyone is watching and has any questions, just pop them in. If you're watching on the replay, ask the questions anyway. I get Fiona to answer the questions. But are there any confidence tips, maybe 1 or 2, just like quick fixes that during the day that maybe people can do at home or at work or wherever?
Yeah. Jen, I have the big 3, which I go by, which is watch your words, manage your thoughts, and filter your feelings, because that really, I can't express enough the importance that the words that you speak to other people about yourself informs you of how you feel about yourself. So that's why coaching is so great, because people don't realize the language that they use. And a lot of the work I do with clients is I'll pick up on that and go, okay, we're going to change that word. So for a lot of the clients I have with anxiety, at some point we change the word until it no longer becomes an issue, and it's something that they choose. It's not something that I choose. That's the way I coach. But it really is watching your words, and it can be tiny things that you think are nothing, but people will say, oh, I'm terrible at that. And it doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but if you're saying I'm terrible at something and it turns out you say that a lot as a phrase word, your subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not, so it just hears I'm terrible. So there are different ways about saying that, saying, oh, I'm not very good at that, but it's not my thing, or I'm working on it, I'm getting better. So that's really watching your words and the way, and that is something I learned from personal experience. I used to have incredibly low self-esteem and just would beat myself up all the time. And it wasn't until someone, thank goodness, said to me when I was, sort of in my 20s, said, that's not a really redeeming quality. And I was like, what? Because I was such a people pleaser at the time. So I was like, oh, well, what have I done? And they said, that's what you're doing is beating yourself up. And that was my first of many aha moments. So it's really something I focus on afterwards, is watch your words. And the second one is to manage your thoughts, because you do control your thoughts. And again, a large amount of the work that I do with people is being conscious that you have the power to change your thoughts at any time. It's not easy, but it gets easier the more you practice. It used to be a killer for me, and it's something that I've practiced for years now, and it's second nature, but it really is important to manage your thoughts. And the last one is to filter your feelings, because whatever information comes to you, you really do get a choice of what you do with that feeling. Someone can yell at you and you can really filter that feeling into taking it personally and getting upset, or you can go, wow, you're having a bad day. That is not about me, but, so it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you excuse people's behavior, but it's about how you filter things. I used to be someone that would, someone would say something and my way of dealing with something would be to vent straight away, and I thought that was healthy because I was venting, and I still do it sometimes, but in general I just sit in the moment and go, okay, that's not about me, that's your thing, and that's not a very nice quality, but I'm going to filter that and not take that on board. So that's my 3 tips for everybody: is watch your words, manage your thoughts, and filter your feelings. And that's a really good place to start.
It is. It sounds a very good place to start. So I'll start doing that from now on as well.
Good.
Let me just see. I don't believe there are any comments at the moment. No. So if there are any comments or any questions afterwards, if you watch on the replay, just pop them down below. Either tag Fiona in it, or I'll tag Fiona in it for her to answer the question. But for today, thank you very much, Fiona, for your time today, and also for just contributing to the club. It's very much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evening, because I think, how late is it where you are at the moment?
It's 9:20, so just about ready to get there.
Listen, I'll leave you to the rest of the evening. Don't worry, I'm there as well, don't worry. All right, have a lovely rest of your evening, and thank you again. And everyone else, have a lovely rest of your day, no matter where you are in the world. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jen. Bye.
Bye.